Tennant.
My name is David Tennant. Welcome to a brand new series, the Comedy World Cup. Oh yes! This is a knockout competition in which two teams of comedians take each other on to see who knows most about comedy. The winning team tonight will go through to the next round. The losers have to do a weekend residency in Butlins Minehead. So let's meet the teams. Captain of the team to my right is a comedian who, ever since the 1980s, has been hugely influential in helping the comedy business move on from the dark days of male domination and patronising sexist attitudes towards women. She's brilliantly funny, and boy can she iron a shirt. It's Jo Brand! Joining Jo is one of the country's most thoughtful comedians who has regularly appeared on Question Time, Woman's Hour, Quote Unquote, and BBC4's The Big Read. Well, she's going to be disappointed tonight. It's Shappi Khorsandi! And making up Jo's team is a comedian so northern he only agreed to do the show if we cobbled his dressing room and put a toilet outside. It's Dave Spikey! Captain of the team to my left is a Manchester-born comedian who still lives in the city. In fact, he's so Mancunian, cut him and he bleeds rain. It's Jason Manford! Joining Jason is a comedian who apparently is regularly mistaken for Prince. I'm hoping that's the singer and not Prince Harry. It's a family show, keep your clothes on. Paul Chowdhury! And finally, joining Jason is a comedian who got his big break when he was cast in a Shakespeare comedy. By Shakespeare. It's Nicholas Parsons! Astonishingly, each of our teams has more than 100 years of comedy experience between them. In fact, Jason's team has a combined age of 157. Or if you include Nicholas, 357. This is called The Year in Question. Jason, Paul and Nicholas, I'd like to ask you to watch this. Everything you see and hear relates to one particular year. Let's have a look.
Wouldn't you like to get... Thanks, Sam. You really are a proper little housewife. Not like George. She still thinks she's a boy.
I think it's stupid being a girl. I wish I was a boy.
Really, George? It's about time you gave up thinking you're as good as a boy. I mean, Anne is just a girl, but she doesn't mind, do you, Anne? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
We forgot the most important part of the celebration.
Oh my God, the ghetto from the chateau!
What about the ghetto from the chateau?
It contains a bomb.
A bomb in the ghetto from the chateau?
It is to blow up the general. You must not let anybody light that fuse.
But where is the fuse?
It is the candle with the handle.
Really, you do not need to kill the general. We have already arranged to kill the general. Do you not see that if we kill him with the pill from the till by making with it the drug in the jug, you need not light the candle with the handle of the ghetto from the chateau?
So team, talk me through what you saw there. I'll give you a point for telling me what the theme tune you heard was, and another one for correctly identifying the year. We're looking for the year these things first started.
Well, the music was Cheers, I think, was it?
Cheers, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Straight in, 1 point.
Everybody knows Johnny.
Yeah.
So it's definitely 80s.
Right.
86, 80, something like that, do you think?
82. I think it's 82 because LOLO is on gold now, and UK Gold has to play stuff that is at least 315 years old.
We'll go with that. We'll go with 82 then. I think you probably
1982 right. Is absolutely right. Indeed, we saw Allo Allo there, a sitcom set in a cafe in Nazi-occupied France during World War II. In the most controversial episode, Renee foolishly gives a table to fashion designer John Galliano, with not-so-hilarious results. Cheers, starring a young Kirstie Alley. Every day she faced a string of weird characters, troubled by personal issues, failed relationships and shady pasts they'd rather not talk about. But then she has a Scientologist, she's used to that.
All right. He's beat the Daleks. I think he can beat Scientologists.
Yeah, come on.
Here's a bonus point question for you. What unusual clause did Arthur Lowe have put in his contract for Dad's Army? I'll be surprised if you get this.
Really? OK. Well, I don't know then. Was it like something to do with the credits? Like, because the credits were always like in order of appearance. Did he say, I've got to appear first?
No, he didn't.
No?
Was it something to do with working on a Sunday?
No.
Right.
Was it something to do with the army and his dad?
Nothing to do with that.
You knew it. He must have said at some point, Nicholas, I've got this thing in my contracts at work that...
I knew him in rep years ago, but we didn't work together very much. He was an incredible actor.
Was his catchphrase?
Because it used to say...
Sergeant Major.
Was that one?
You stupid boy.
Was it like a rider that he had?
It was to do with his costuming.
He'd always insisted the same pair of underpants.
He may have done that, but that's not what's on the card. What was unusual about Arthur Lowe's clause? I'm going to tell you, because I think you're lost.
I don't know.
He had it put in his contract that he was never to be filmed without his trousers. Are you listening, Keith Lemon? Arthur Lowe was most famous for playing Dad's Army's Captain Mannering and was the voice of the Mr. Men. Who can forget his perfectly delivered line, "Don't tell him, Mr. Tickle." Joe's team, your turn. Take a look at this and try and work out the year in question.
Shows promise. Where it says nationality, we put British, not Liverpudlian. Would Madam care to try again?
Okay. It's like being kept in at school. Remember old Frosty Chops Williams? She said that.
And fling and in and fling. Matron, take them away.
I don't know. The things people bring on buses. I know, all the years I've been here, I've never known stuff like that to be left on a bus before. I suppose you've got nothing else here like that, have you?
Well, just this tin of toppies, Blakey.
Yeah. No, we won't bother about top.
Oh, yes, we will, yes, we will. I want you to check every one of them in there. We don't want to be accused of pinching people's sweeties.
Give us it here, then.
So, Joe's team, talk me through what you saw. 1 point for correctly identifying the theme song you heard, another for getting the year right.
Well, it's Monty Python.
It was, 1 point straight off.
Music, and I'm going to turn to Shappy here, because she reads celebrity magazines.
I did once.
Do you know
I once read a celebrity magazine and I learned everything.
Yeah. Do you know how old Jennifer Aniston is?
She is, I think, 43. Because it was definitely the 60s.
Yeah.
How many were there in the 60s?
There are 10 years in every decade.
10,
yeah.
okay.
Can I just turn away from Shappy? So Carry On Camping.
Yeah.
That happened to me once at a holiday camp and formed a natural marquee, weirdly.
The thing that I noticed, this is really weird, I just know someone was watching it, Carry On Camping.
Yeah.
But I watched it, and if you watch, I don't know if you can show it again, Hattie Jakes, she stood at the back, and then a bra goes flying off and it goes back, and she's got a hat on.
We're going to have a look at that.
And fling and in.
No hat.
No hat.
Hat!
What's that all about? That is a good spot.
That probably means, if you're watching that and you notice that as a kid, it means you're gay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, actually, because obviously at that point, Kenneth Williams was in the closet and we didn't know. But that reaction he has when the bra flies in his face is so obvious, isn't it? He goes, oh, get it off me, get it off me. My eyes.
So a Carry On Camping, then we had the Liverbirds, which when I was a kid, I always thought it was called the Liverbirds, and it was about AA. But, and then, of course, we had On the Buses, which I loved, because the two main protagonists, who were Reg Varney and the other one, the one with the teeth.
Bob,
That's right, Bob someone.
He was a ladies' man, wasn't he?
Well, what I loved about him was he thought he was like a real pull, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? He he kind of acted as if he was, like, so attractive. And how many bottles of vodka would you have to have? Really? I mean, I used to think I was unattractive till I saw him on the telly.
My dad used to work on the buses in the 70s, and I used to sit on the bus with him. And when he watched the TV show, they should have called that No Indians on the Buses, because there was no ethnics on that show.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a good representation of what was going on in the buses.
To be fair, I don't think it pretended to be a documentary.
So you were the first one to break this barrier down?
Yeah, he's like the Rosa Parks of London.
Sitting on the back of the buses.
The first one. It's weird, actually, to see two people working on a bus, like, you know, the driver and the conductor. That doesn't happen anymore now. It'd be crap, that sitcom now, wouldn't it? Just people swiping their Oyster card and just sitting there like...
I think my favourite experience ever on a bus was that there was a butterfly on the bus fluttering about. We thought, oh, captive butterfly. So someone managed to catch it, released it out of the window, and a bird swooped down and ate it. Yeah, that's life, I thought.
So which year did all this begin?
I think Jennifer Aniston is definitely a 60s baby, and I think she's definitely 43, because everyone's panicking about whether or not she should have a child. And
I'm not.
Yeah, when you see everyone.
We think it's 1969.
You think it's 1969?
We do.
1969 is the correct answer. And indeed, we saw a clip from On the Buses, which has been described as an unfunny sitcom in which a group of sexist old men with 70s haircuts get into all sorts of scrapes with a double-decker butt. Sorry. No, that's Top Gear. Friends is so popular that an episode is always on somewhere in the world. Then an hour later, on Somewhere in the World +1. Here's a bonus point question for you. Jennifer Aniston was indeed born in 1969. Her godfather played which 70s TV detective? Oh. Yes,
Kojak.
Sandy, thank you. Kojak is the correct answer.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Telly Savalas was indeed a Greek actor, the godfather to Jennifer Aniston. He was the first person to make bald men cool, a trend that sadly ended with Greg Wallace from MasterChef. So, at the end of that round, the scores are as follows. Joe's team have 3, Jason's team have 2. Join us after the break. But in the meantime, here's a question for you at home. Which of our panellists was asked never to return to Hastings?
Foster's sponsors original comedy on 4.
Me and the boys is angry because you is cooking all the time. Cooking should be left to professional takeaway chefs like us. Cooking is difficult. Look at this guy. He's bound to muck up the cooking. So, take my advice. Don't cook. Just eat.
Order from local takeaways online.
Everyone's world is different. There are consultations, experimentations, ruminations, business models, molecular models, life models, actions, reactions, fractions, collaborations, formulations, variations. Note the new way with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 and S Pen.
At SO, we pride ourselves on developing fuels that work at a molecular level to help your engine run more smoothly by helping to remove deposits from vital engine parts. So our advanced fuels help your